I just straight up died. Or I don't even know what I did. Tiger Dojo is a light-hearted hint segment. Players who want to complete the game on their own or avoid out-of-character situations should proceed with caution. Should I go to the Tiger Dojo to seek advice? Nah, we don't need the Tiger Dojo. Restart from the most recent decision point. Sure. Well, I mean, I guess logically, I guess I need to follow Saber. Maybe if I were climbing the stairs earlier, I would have like been able to stop something. Need to be less of a coward. I can't just watch and do nothing. An uneven footing prevents Saber from gaining ground on Ryder. The two clash in the air, rushing up to the rooftop. Oh, the rooftop! If Ryder came flying down from the top of the building, chances are Shinji is there! We have two possible ways to win our fight against Ryder. Either we defeat her directly, or we defeat her master. But whichever it is, it has to be before she deploys her noble phantasm. While Saber's fighting Ryder, there's only one thing I should be doing. Yeah, I guess it kind of seems obvious now that it's been explained that way. Interlude? 10-1. Whoa. The two shadows climb upwards. They continue to distance themselves from the ground, gaining more and more altitude. Neither needs proper footing. They just kick their way up along the wall. As it happens, they clash countless times, all before they ever reach the top. Were anyone watching from the ground, they'd probably think they were seeing a game of pinball. Though I doubt they'd be able to follow the two with the naked eye. It's like a deadly circus act. The collisions are barely discernible, invisible to normal human beings. Saber had no desire to be a part of this crazy circus act. She may be a servant, but she can't fly through the sky. She might be able to run up along the building's wall, but that's it. This is no better than a free fall for her. She alternates between kicking off from the building before she loses momentum and slowing to let gravity take hold of her. It may be no exaggeration to say she's falling into the sky. Now that she's started, she'll continue all the way up to the rooftop. And in that entire journey, if her opponent hits her, she'll be hurled to the ground. But it seems the laws of gravity do not apply to the enemy, so the opponent Saber has to defeat. The streak of purple shoots across the side of the building in pursuit of Saber, while Saber focuses on reaching the roof. Gravity has no hold on Ryder. She leaps around effortlessly, moving in and from all directions, up, down, left, right, to strike at Saber. Her long hair trails out behind her like a comet trail, as she looks like a snake wrapping itself around a log. Saber's feet touch the wall. She leans sideways and kicks the wall, aiming for the edge of the building. Saber suddenly shoots out at a right angle to her previous trajectory. Not one of the attacks finds its mark. Ryder's simply no match for Saber's raw power. Saber shakes Ryder off with a single kick, then kicks upwards once again when she reaches the building's side. She aims herself upward. If Ryder is like a serpent coiling around the building, Saber is like a bursting spark. But it looks like Ryder might have predicted her moves. The distance between them remains the same. Ryder continues along the side of the building, not letting Saber open any distance between them. She strikes every time Saber has to take a step. Yeah. Saber fends Ryder off with her blade and jumps to put some space between them. Though she's able to fend off Ryder's coiling pursuit, there's only so much she can do in the air. Where before there had been no contest in their combat ability, they are now more evenly matched. Neither has an attack that can bring this to a close. No, Ryder is withholding her own deadliest attack. Every time Saber leaps at Ryder, Ryder fends off her attack but never counterattacks. Ryder's only keeping Saber at bay as she makes her way to the rooftop. Do not intend to fight, Ryder. Saber curses at her cowardly enemy. To a knight like Saber, a fight like this is as good as an insult. Such a thing should involve both opponents giving their all in their clash. By that belief, Ryder's actions are disrespectful. It appears you do not like heights, Saber. Ryder's voice is cool. She's right. Saber's clearly not used to fighting in the air. This is probably a first for her, actually. Knights are meant to fight on solid ground. They're not supposed to cling to walls like her opponents. Your proud sword won't do you any good here. But do not worry, I will give you your rest soon. Ryder moves upward, her manner inviting. She set this whole thing up. Saber understands that, though. At the end of this circus, yes, Ryder's ideal positioning must be waiting above. Ryder can't use her trump cards so readily, which is why she's luring her prey to a place there will be no interruptions, so they can settle this with her ultimate attack. As soon as she reaches the roof, she'll be in a difficult position. If Ryder's noble phantasm is exactly what Saber thinks it is, she won't have any defense against it. But there's no turning back now. We just can't ignore Ryder or her master. This isn't about defeating an enemy in the Holy Grail War. Saber must defeat Ryder here and now to protect her master. Because she has no other choice. This whole situation must be absolutely dumbfounding for her. She's probably thought more than once about not wanting to push her master to do anything crazy. The two continue gaining altitude. Their rapid clashes ring out across the building as the battle approaches its final destination. Damn, why does it only go up to the 40th floor? I rush up the stairs while I complain. I manage to enter the building from the back, but the elevator doesn't go all the way to the roof. I have to run up the remaining 10 flights of stairs. I climb the stairs as fast as I can. I'm not sure how long it's been since Saber and I split up. Probably less than 10 minutes, but that's too long. You never know how or when a battle will end. Even Saber's not perfect. She can make a mistake and get into trouble. So before that happens, if I can make Shinji use up his command spells, Ryder might stop fighting. The harder I run, the more my still healing body aches. Sprinting around the building, then up the stairs has left me out of breath. But I don't slow down. No, I speed up. Something about this has me worried. I'm not sure why, but my chest hurts. It's not physical pain. Something is warning me of danger ahead. Saber can't win. There's something on this rooftop that shouldn't be faced. I try to shake this feeling off and focus on climbing the stairs. The wind is strong. The moment I open the door, the city's nightscape fills my field of vision. Scorch marks pock the concrete. And at its center, at the heart of the burned, scarred rooftop, Saber is on her knees. Saber! Shadow, why are you here? Saber's shoulders heave with her labored breathing. The moment I rush to her, I notice something strange floating up above me. Or rather, the sheer overwhelming amount of magical energy forces me to take notice. What? I look up towards the sky. Flapping wings. I hear flapping wings. Something, a paler and more blinding white than the light of the moon, hovers over me. A Pegasus? What? And that type of rider, that's cheating. It is a legendary mystic I've only heard about in myth. The moment she reaches the rooftop, Saber confronts her opponent's true form. Saber leans on her sword, exhausted, and looks up. The white light rushes towards her. Saber unleashes the wind that shrouds her sword, using it to create an invisible barrier. She goes flying backward. Her attempt to block the onrushing Pegasus fails to even slow it down. The force of the impact knocks Saber back, slamming her brutally into the ground. There's no time to be lying down. Pegasus turns mid-air and resumes its glide without so much as a pausing. She can't possibly brace herself. Her only option is to try to evade. Even if she manages that, the aftereffects of its passage will chip away at her defenses. If this keeps up, it will hit her eventually. The white light streaks down toward her. Pegasus sails far overhead and knocks Saber backward before sweeping back into the skies. Saber can't possibly reach it. There are no walls she can kick off of, not up here. Even if she could, there's no way she could actually reach Pegasus. So, by the way, to be clear, is the servant itself Pegasus, not just like riding Pegasus? Like, let's see, rider. Rider, true. Well, I guess we don't. This isn't saying what the true name is. It might be a Pegasus rider specifically, or I guess it could be Pegasus. I don't know. Because in Greek mythology, Pegasus is actually a specific being, which I believe is the child of Poseidon, I think? Whereas, I know in like a lot of modern pop culture and stuff, we think of Pegasi as like a species of like horse, basically. In Greek mythology, I think it's a specific creature. Despite her disadvantage, Saber waits for an opportunity to fight back. Pegasus, it may be, but it's a living creature, so she should still be able to kill it, if she can just get a chance. Her only opportunity for victory is if Ryder makes a mistake at the reins. This is a surprise. You're tougher than I expected. Ryder's voice comes from high above. Saber grips her sword tightly as she looks up. But is there any point to any of this? You have no chance of winning. If you're to disappear, I suggest you at least do it gracefully. Ryder's voice is calm. Even so, I hear just the slightest bit of joy in it. Huh. I expected you to have a phantasmal species. I expect you to have a phantasmal species, but I didn't expect you to have this, Ryder. A phantasmal species. As the name suggests, it refers to creatures which exist within an illusion. Humanoids like fairies and giants. Demonic creatures like Oni and dragons. If they're considered mystics, that alone makes them superior to MeeCraft. It's law of nature for mystics to be destroyed by other stronger mystics. In the same way, MeeCraft grows in power with knowledge. Phantasmal species accumulate power from their longevity. Even if a human masters MeeCraft, the most they can accumulate is about 500 years worth of it. Take a species that lived since ancient times. There's just no contest between that and a mystic that's only 500 years old. But it's... Hold on, 500 years. Write that down. Note that. Could be important later. But it's been a long, long time since humans and phantasmals existed in the same world. The longer the phantasmal has lived, the further it's distanced itself from this world. The only phantasmal species in the modern world are a scant few hundred years old. So, Saber expected the phantasmal rider as her mount to be only a few hundred years old. You must be truly wicked if you thought to bring something from the age of gods here, rider. Yes, I am different from you all. That is, I was merely an enemy for you. And so now I control only the poor things you people cast out in the distant past. I see. I knew there was something twisted about you. So you are a demonic spirit rather than a heroic spirit. Makes sense. Huh. Curse me all you want. It doesn't matter. You won't be able to lay so much as a finger on my darling here. The Pegasus rests its wings in the air. It's a giant arrow aimed at Saber's heart, ready to fire at a moment's notice. She glares at the creature and thinks. Pegasus itself is not a powerful phantasmal species. A typical Pegasus is just a phantasmal that can only match a demonic beast in power. Were that the case, it would be easy to defeat with Saber's invisible air alone. But it isn't the case. That Pegasus has existed since the Age of Gods, has long since reached the level of a phantasmal. The horse is nearing the level of the dragon race, considered to be the strongest of all phantasmals. At the very least, its defenses are probably already at the level of a dragon race. Since Pegasus possesses divine protection that exceeds even Saber's, whose magic resistance is unparalleled, the way it glides through the air, trailing massive magical energy, is like a castle wall bearing down on Saber. It can't be possible to avoid or repel something like that. But something else is odd here. Ryder simply summoned Pegasus. It has no true name of its own. To Ryder, Pegasus is little more than, say, a favorite dagger. And that means she has yet to use her noble phantasm. Even in her dire predicament, the possibility of defeat never enters Saber's mind. Instead, she thinks her chance will come when Ryder really starts to get serious. Whatever Ryder's noble phantasm may be, it'll have no trouble destroying a building like this. She just needs to focus on defending herself, on staying alive, then all she'll have to do is cut Ryder down as soon as an opportunity presents itself. Yes. If only her master hadn't shown up. What? I look up towards the sky. Flapping wings. I hear flapping wings. Something, a paler and more blinding white than the light of the moon, hovers over me. It is a legendary mystic I've only heard about in myth. Pegasus? The identity of Ryder's noble phantasm. Could that be what scorched the rooftop and forced Saber to her knees? I see that Ryder is, as her class name suggests, riding a horse, tearing across the sky. What the? I shift my focus from Ryder. I thought I heard something. Shinji! I know you're here! Come on out! I can't tell how strong Ryder is while she's on Pegasus. All I can tell is that White Fiend has more magical energy in it than a few hundred mages could muster. No wonder the roof is a charred mess. That monster can destroy damn near anything around it just by running across it. If that thing charges from up in the sky, even Saber won't be able to avoid it. Quit hiding! I came here like you asked, so show yourself! It's a race against time. I need to defeat Shinji. If I defeat the master, Ryder will disappear. I hear laughter. Shinji must be hiding somewhere. Shinji. You see that, Emiya? This is the difference between my power and yours. Only his voice echoes. I fight down my impatience and try to focus on the sound of his laughter. Damn, the wind's so strong! I can't tell where the laughter is coming from. Sucks for you. This is what you get when you try to be all cool and act like it's all under control, dumbass. Now do you understand that you have to go for the kill when you have the chance? Oh yeah, I understand that, believe me. Shinji! Don't rush. Let him talk. Let him talk all he wants. The more he talks, the better chance I have of finding him. But I'm not like that. You and your servant are done for here and now. Well, it's not like we're total strangers, you know? I saw you one from yesterday, so I'll be merciful and kill you quickly. This is bad. Pegasus is still high up in the sky, tips its head towards Saber. The vortex of magical energy whirls faster, as if it knows no limits. If that thing comes at us at full speed, it'll blow the entire roof apart. Don't worry, Emiya. You're a bit of a speed bump along the way, but I'll make sure those morons at school join you soon. If you're still lonely after that, I'll send Sakura to join you too. Why, you Shinji? Go, Ryder! Take the one first. Don't leave a trace. Saber! A white comet streaks toward us. And at that moment, a storm rages around me. Saber! What? For the first time, she forgets her enemy in battle. She is furious with her master for walking into this death trap, but she's also angry with herself for failing to anticipate him doing so. All those thoughts are cast aside now. What else can she do? Even now, even in the midst of danger, she can only see only concern for her well-being in his eyes. Shiro! He's always been like this, actually. He may have understood that she was an exceptional knight, but that's never how he saw her. It appears playtime is over, Saber. Ryder's giggling voice reaches her even now. Ryder touches Pegasus' neck with both her hands, and the beast's wings beat harder. My noble phantasm is powerful, but it is not suitable to use on the ground. If I use it, it will draw attention. With other masters still around, I could not do so readily. But up here, there's no cause for worry. Did you understand that I brought you up here because it suited me? Something begins to form in Ryder's hands. It seems insignificant, really. A glittering golden rope. Golden rope? What is she, Wonder Woman? Is that your noble phantasm, Ryder? Yes, distasteful though it is. My darling here is too kind, not fit for battle, and so I need something like this to get them in the mood. Pegasus lowers its head. This feral nature is not inborn within the creature itself, but coaxed from it by Ryder's touch. Begone, Saber. Even if you survive, your master has no chance. As long as your master dies, you will follow him. No? It is the inaugural truth. Ryder's noble phantasm will utterly destroy the roof. If she hurried, she might be able to carry Shira away and escape, but Ryder won't stop at just destroying the rooftop. Her master's not strong enough to survive a collapsing building. Meaning, to protect her master, she'll have to destroy her enemy, Pegasus and all. She doesn't have time to think about whether this is the right thing to do. Saber glances one final time at her master, still some distance from her. He is doing his best to fill his role simply by gritting his teeth and keeping back. Oh, wind. The last of her hesitation fades. What is ahead no longer matters. All that matters is this moment, and in it she must be her master's blade, and defeat the enemy they now face. Go, Ryder! Get that woman first! Don't leave any trace of her! I hear the jarring, grating shout. In that moment, Pegasus ascends higher and vanishes from sight. Pegasus flies up into the air. It's already lost its form. It rises up as if to shoot through the moon, then continues its arc by flapping its wings, powering itself down toward the ground. The blazing white comet streaks downward. It becomes an arrow of searing white light, but Ryder continues urging it on. There's only one target. It intends to annihilate its enemy entirely, and the isolated garden in the sky along with it. Bellera. She speaks his name. If noble phantasm is the miracle that is released by speaking its true name, Bellerophon. Yep, I know that name. I was actually looking up stuff before. Isn't that a, Oh, I just can't remember where I heard it from. I think it's something to do with the Pegasus. I think it might actually be the Pegasus' name from Greek mythology, now that I think about it. It is Divine Lightning. Or it's the name of the person who rides the Pegasus in Greek mythology. I think that might be it. A thunderous flash. There's no emotion in her eyes as she looks on. You said nobody would see from this vantage, didn't you, Ryder? The wind unfurls from her blade and becomes a storm. Whoa. I agree. There's no need to worry about destroying the ground from so high up. The seal is broken. Layers of wind unfold from her blade. Her sword is finally visible. A storm rages before my eyes. The white light descends upon the rooftop. Saber, though she is the sole focus of that light, doesn't move. Saber? The raging wind, she's the source. No, not Saber herself. Her sword. Ooh, it's a fancy sword. Huh? I can't believe what I'm seeing. The blade should be invisible, but there it is. Like unwrapping bandages, the wind slowly coils away from her blade. Oh, wow. A golden sword? Golden sword. That's interesting. Presumably that means some level of high status? Perhaps like a noble? Royalty, perhaps? Instead of just a standard, but a standard yet competent knight? The wind rages on. The multiple layers of seals peel away. The bands of wind dissolve into the air. She readies her now visible sword and turns back towards Pegasus as it dives towards her. Rider approaches as a brilliant flare of light. Bellerophon is now large enough to engulf the entire rooftop, and is only picking up speed to destroy us, building and all. The bridle of chivalry lights up the rooftop. Time stops. In the face of inescapable destruction, my mind goes blanks. But the light is not coming from the bride of chivalry. The light churns and builds upon itself. The light of Ryder's mount is brilliant, but it can't hold a candle to the purity I see in this one. Saber's holding the ultimate sacred sword that has collected the lights of the stars. Excalibur? Wait, does that mean... Hold on. And that can only point to one person, right? A single line of brilliant light. It's a blade of light, sharing through everything it touches. The beam of light destroys Ryder utterly as it cleaves through the clouds and disappears into the night sky. Most likely. If that sword had been used on the ground, it would have carved a trail of devastation through the city. Her sword is not unseeable. It simply does not reveal itself. It is the golden sword that captivates all who behold it, the true name of surpassing fame. Excalibur, the sword of promised victory. And so, wait. So Excalibur, that is specifically of Arthurian legend, right? Specifically the sword wielded by King Arthur? So does that mean that that's Saber's? Who Saber is? She's King Arthur? A sword that is said to have existed in England. A sword wielded by the king who became the very symbol of knighthood. The strongest of the servants, noble phantasms, sealed by several bounded fields. That is Saber's proof of her place as a hero. Okay, we've got new servant dead. I don't need to look into this. Hold on. So let's just start with the rider stuff. So, don't know your true name still, but we do know that we got Bellerophon, the bridle of chivalry. Jeez. Also, Bellerophon is the name of the boy who rode the Pegasus in Greek mythology. Okay, I was right. Because I didn't think it was the Pegasus, because the Pegasus is named Pegasus, I'm pretty sure. So does Bellerophon. Gotcha. But Saber, she has Excalibur. The Sword of Light, it is not a man-made weapon, but a divine construct forged by the planet within the category of holy swords. It is the greatest noble phantasm. It is a holy sword that converts the user's magical energy into light, increasing momentum by convergence and acceleration, and makes it possible to use magical energy at the level of a divine spirit. To an outsider, it looks like a large belt of light, but it actually only has a hitbox at the tip of the light. It is... hitbox. It is the ultimate slashing attack that cuts through everything along the faults that are formed by the light. That massive magical energy gives heat to everything other than the tip as well. As a result, it all gets taken by a wave of light that mows down everything above the ground. It could even be called a directional energy weapon. Interesting. Oh, it's an anti-fortress type weapon. Okay, rank A++. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Max target 1,000 persons. As comparison, because the Battlefront thing was actually pretty impressive too. That's only anti-army with the range of 2 to 50 and max target of 300 persons. Silence falls over the rooftop. The wind has died down, and not so much as a breeze whispers across the rooftop. I stand, dazed in place. I can't approach Saber. I'm still too confused to act. Or maybe I'm just captivated by her sword? My mind is racing and I can't seem to think of much that makes sense. Why does she have that sword? The golden sword belongs to a famous knightly king. Everyone knows who. As I try to figure out how she came to have something like that, I realize my mind is doing everything it can to deny the simplest of the possible answers. I don't need to be making all these assumptions. That sword's always been hers. And that's why her true name is so easy to figure out. The owner of that sacred sword can have only one name. Saber remains motionless where she stands. I should approach her, but my body won't listen. I've been told so many times that Saber is a heroic spirit, but now that I've seen for myself that she is indeed a great hero of the past, I hesitate to even get closer to her. I hear a shriek. Something is burning in the shadows. I turn to look. I see a burning book slowly dissolving into a pile of ash. And... it's burning! Oh my god, it's still burning! I see Shinji, cringing as he watches the book burn. Shinji. He must have realized how much trouble he's in now that Ryder has been defeated. Shinji turns and sprints towards the exit from the rooftop. Hey! He leaps through the door to the stairway. Wait, Shinji! I can't let him get away again. The moment I turn to pursue Shinji, just out of the corner of my eye, I see Saber collapse. My mind stops. I mean, just out of curiosity, could we maybe we could have Saber like sacrifice Shinji's life force for some extra energy for herself? I mean, that wouldn't be much of a loss, now would it? Shinji's fleeing and Saber's fallen to the ground. I should... I mean, what can Shinji do now that he doesn't have Ryder anymore anyway? Right? I can't leave Saber alone. Ryder's gone, and the book that acted as Shinji's command spell has burned to ash. Shinji doesn't have a servant anymore, and he's lost his command spells. The contest is as good as over. Saber is my priority now. Saber! I rush to her. She's not holding the golden sword anymore. It's disappeared. Now there's just Saber, lying on the ground. Saber's in bad shape. Beads of sweat trickle down her brow, and her breath is shallow, labored. She looks like she's got a fever. No way. Hey, Saber! What's going on? I call out to Saber nervously, but she doesn't respond. She's out cold. Saber? I touch her forehead. It's hot. I jerk my hand away. It's unnaturally hot. She's got to be running a fever of over 40 degrees. Which is... I actually have, like... I have no idea what temperature that is. Like, 110, maybe? Well, let me look that up. Because obviously it's Celsius, so I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Let's see. 40 C to Fahrenheit. 104. Okay. Okay. So I was not particularly close. Saber! Hey, pull yourself together! I caught her, but her only response is shallow, anguished breathing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what to do, but I can't just stand around. I'm going to take you home. I'll deal with any complaints later. I lift Saber up. She's so light. I knew that, of course, but now she seems even lighter. No, more than that, she's warm. It means she's still alive. Saber's still the person I've known all this time. I'm pissed with myself for even hesitating. Damn, what's the matter if she's a hero? No matter who Saber is, she's here, and she's still warm. How much of an idiot was I for putting up this wall between us before? We're going home. Quick. Just hold still, Saber. I start running, Saber in my arms. There's no sense of triumph from this victory. All I feel is Saber in my arms, barely breathing.